Never made it as a wise man, couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing, and this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me. This is how you remind me.
All right, guys. All right. It is Friday. It is the 8:50 roundup. This is just a test. There are a lot of people who want me to do a 6:30 club on Fridays. Sometimes it's hard. I do 6:30 club Monday through Thursdays. That comes right after the 5:20, after I do a nice workout in the sauna with my dogs from around the world. If you guys did sign up or you haven't signed up yet for the Red Dog Mindset Above, that button is right there today where it's a tester. If you like Fridays besides Monday through Thursday, you should definitely sign up. Either which way. Hope everyone's having a good week. What's up, JMO? What up, Coy? What up, Jers? How's everybody feeling? If you guys remember, all week long, I was like, are we going to stay below the gap pivot? You know, will sellers have enough power to sell that? And this 739-ish area was sold every day. You could have faded against there. Maybe you were long versus there, but that spot got rejected. We've also trying to hold the 50-day. The 50-day has been the support that happened earlier in June. Will that hold today? So today is a pretty important day, to be honest. Today should be interesting to see, does the SPYs hold it or break it? Right now it's looking a little bit below. Does it stay below 729.60? If it stays below 729.60, really not much until the lows here, which is around 722.59. So the market can do whatever it wants if it stays below it. So you better be careful there. There's been a lot of faulty action. Mega cap tech is a disaster. So many names bent to broken, and feels like that's going to continue. Qs, all right, we're gonna use the same kind of strategy. Do the Qs hold 704? Does it break? If it breaks, you have the 50-day, and then the low from June 9th is down at 687. So with that being said, market's been feeling vulnerable. Yesterday, MU and SanDisk kind of saved the tape a little bit, but you saw what happened with the IPO being put off, OpenAI. Some people think that's going to slow down the build out, which could affect the semis. So the semis will be very interesting today. A lot of people are trading the Soxel. Yesterday, the Soxel held 225. Does it hold today? I don't know. If it gets below and stays below, you're going to have a lot of volatility. Lots of volatility. Right now, we're right there. It's right at 225. Thank goodness a bunch of us bought calls in the Soxus, which is up 40 cents. I did buy that with you on the VTF, obviously, which sees everything that I do. But on Monday, I told you guys I was buying some of the SOXS just in case Wednesday's binary event in MU was going to be a way to sell off some semis. Well, guess what? The semis went down 20% into Wednesday, so I took off 2/3 into Wednesday, and then I then rolled into next Friday's, and then into yesterday's down move, added to some of that. So I'll probably trim and manage that. So that's a good hedge to have on. Anyway, what's up, MJ? So with that being said, this 225 is the key. MU, will MU that saved the day hold 1136? If it doesn't hold 1136, chances are that's one of the last really strong stocks. SanDisk. SanDisk is another one. SanDisk was really strong yesterday because all over Reddit, there was rumors that it was going to announce a stock split. It didn't. I do think stock splits definitely goose a move when stocks are strong because shorts are trapped. Hasn't happened. We'll see. SanDisk is well off those lows from yesterday. So, if you're looking to buy a dip in SanDisk, be careful. You're still about $100 above where it was yesterday. And MU also, I'm telling you, MU, watch that low of 1136. Where's MU right now? MU is getting close. The key to today is, will these semis, that are opening lower, are they going to trend lower, or are they going to give you tactical action versus yesterday's lows? Yesterday's lows on MU is 1136. NVIDIA is not that important. NVIDIA has been bent and broken just like the old school mega cap tech. NVIDIA, we tried it last week. Most guys either got stopped out or short right around 211. And now I guess see what happens here. Does it hold 192 or not? It's a little bit above it. NVIDIA has not been interesting. I don't think I trade Tesla that much anymore. Tesla's broken. Very, very, very broken. You know, Tesla's tried to give you a few moves here and there, but it's not much to do here. Most people are probably selling rallies, or it's been a little bit harder to gauge. Last move was to 414, got rejected. Now it's below all the moving averages. It's broken. Some people are like, oh my God, Microsoft's the biggest disaster. Yes, it is. Microsoft's a really good example on why you cannot just think a name is going to save you. Oh, but it's Microsoft. No, use your technicals. Microsoft did an island top. And then even if you missed that, if you played a nice move, you thought, hey, maybe it was going to hold. It didn't right there. That was your out. If you got out of 427, a lot better than holding your nose and going underwater to 364. Technicals matter. If you sell the 8-day or the 21-day when things go from special to non-special, you save yourself a lot of money as an active trader who trades for a living. Then you could test levels below and try and make cash flow, but not be stubborn. I do think that Rocket Labs, okay, and ASTS are worth a look. They're coming into some big support. Rocket Labs came out with some news with NASA. You would think you can get some kind of bounce here. So watch $80. Maybe you get a red dog reversal somewhere around here. I actually sold some $75 puts yesterday, and maybe I'll do more. You would think we get some kind of just a little bounce. If you sold 134 or you sold 111, hey, you get the opportunity to trying it there. Some guys like, oh my God, ASTS, I'm getting crushed. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be in it. You should not be in the stock if you're tactical. Why? You did a breakout failure. You had a gap that didn't get filled. You lost the 8-day. You lost all the moving averages. Well, now maybe it's worth a look. You know, I sold some $60 puts for July 17th. So I'm selling some puts. I'm collecting premium. So if it gets there, I don't have to be perfect, and I'll buy it there and I'll put it in, you know, the drawer. If it doesn't get there, I'll keep the premium, and that'll be that. What do I think about a broken bounce in gold and silver? Yeah, I think GLD showed a little bit of strength yesterday. So with the market lower, it kind of poked up a little bit. So kind of fill this gap. Yes, gold is up a little bit. All right. So I think, you know, can you add to your gold today? Yeah. You know, hopefully you bought a little bit yesterday. It has some room to fill this gap. If the gap gets filled up at 377, so maybe you could, you know, play it for something like that. You know, Bitcoin, I don't think is worth anything to play right now. It's been so broken. Some people are like, oh my God, Mr. Did you see Mr.? I'm like, I haven't really looked at it in a while. All I know is if Bitcoin is really broken, you obviously, you know, Mr. is broken. But Mr. told you. Like, if you look at the chart of Mr., you know, remember this huge red dog reversal sell, and then it came in, and then it did a breakout failure at 440. Then it lost the moving averages here, and then the last bounce up to 174 was rejected. And look how when it's below the 8-day. You know, look what was below the 8-day this entire time besides a little poke up. So technically, gave you no reason to be in Mr. A lot of people think that Mr. is going to be a bankruptcy. I have no idea. I don't really care. You know, I'm not really watching. I'm not really trading it. Anyway, can you shorten a video? You know, today might be a little trickier to shorten a video. I would have rather have seen you short it earlier with a red dog reversal sell, or maybe when it retested the gap and failed right here versus 192. I think, you know, it's up to you. You know, I might buy it versus 192 if we want to bounce, but I'm gonna do that very selectively. I'm being very, very selective in this market right now. I do not need to be overly exposed. I think the market's vulnerable. I am just trading. Some people think SpaceX might work today. We had a really, really, really good trade in SpaceX to start with the art of the first day. Bought it at 150, sold it 3 days later at 211, broke 187, and now I'm long a little bit versus 147. Last week, it got added to an index. It went from like 172 to 190 in the last 10 minutes. Not saying it's going to happen today, but maybe it tries to defend this area. If it breaks 147, you got to be very careful there. As far as software, you know, software is, again, like you're asking me about software. It's been so damn broken. Like, look at Palantir. Oh, my goodness. Palantir also gave you a very clear-cut technical signals to sell. You had your one move up here. When it broke 155, you're out of the way. We're right here when it did a red dog reversal into the moving averages of 135. And now, boom, 4 down days. So if you're just in it because Palantir paid you 2-3 years ago, you're not doing the right thing. Sequences change. Even Apple. Sometimes sequences change a lot faster. Remember, we made so much money in Apple from 260 to 311-ish, and I get out of the way. I'm like, maybe they're going to sell the event. Well, look at the technicals of Apple. Okay, yes, if you're an investor in Apple, you don't really care. You could be an investor and you're making a ton of money. If you're a trader, we had a great sequence from 260 and kept rolling up the options, went through the high of 288, went to 317. I got out here. People are mad at me. Like, Red Dog, why are you getting out of 311? I'm like, just to be flexible. I don't want to have all these little leftover trailers. And then this was the real out. This was the day of the event. They sold the event. Red Dog reversal sell at 315 versus 317. And if you use your sell rules, not only did you sell strength or get out when it didn't hold the prior high, look at this bearish engulfing candle. That told you that this active long sequence is over. You never know what's going to happen next, but then it gave you downside follow through. And then guess what else it did? It did an H-cell setup, which you guys know where here's your pull down, rallied into some resistance, was sold into it. Thank goodness it was really weak on Wednesday. I had nothing on there. And then it broke 287 that it held, and a lot of people pressed. My buddy Conrad had his best day yesterday because he shorted here. Yes, you're allowed to short Apple sometimes too, if it technically says it. Went down to 273. So sequence higher, potential change, get out of the way to lower. That's what you have to, that's why you get prepared. That's why you get your mind right. So you're not like, oh, it's Apple. No, it's technically changing. The sequence is changing. Get ahead of the change and profit from it, or just get out of the way. Depends on your style. You're buying some NVIDIA and Amazon 3 weeks out. All right. Well, we'll see. There are some things working. Okay, so XBI is working. Some old names. Remember Dash? Broken bounce. We started playing Dash here at 160. To see if that holds like 170. I think HIMS, which I hate the CEO, but the stock's been acting better. Buyable on dips. Maybe you could buy some HIMS versus the moving averages versus yesterday's lows. We played it to 35.50. Started buying some options back for mid-July just in case it comes out with news. So there are definitely some things to do. So anyway, it's 9:03. The market has been vulnerable. I think most people are tactical. Mega cap tech has been bent and broken. Semis tried to save the day yesterday with MU and SanDisk. Let's see if they could hold up today. Watch yesterday's lows is the key. Again, MU, does it hold? Does it hold 1136 or not? Sometimes it breaks below and reclaims it. So use that pivot as your line in the sand either which way. Can SanDisk even get there? Soxel is already almost there, 225. Does it break below and stay below? Remember, break below and stay below. It's got to stay below and prove that it's that weak, or it breaks below, stops people out, and then reclaims it, and there's a trade both ways. So know what you're doing, know what you're looking for. It's Friday. Try to end the week on a good note. Have a great weekend. I appreciate you guys tuning in for the Friday roundup. 6:30 Club is Monday through Thursdays at 6:30 for 20 minutes. Fridays might happen this time to kind of get the week together and, just continue to respect your process and know your rules. Have sell rules, have a tier system, use the moving averages. A lot of people, again, the name is not going to save you. The moving averages are what's going to help you adjust, not the TV set, not the people who play pros on TVs. It's your process, your routine, and your own keyboard. You press your buttons. Make sure you have confidence. Make sure you have the clarity. How do you do that? Get your mind right every day. Get a little exercise. Win the morning, win the day. You could do that. Routine process is what's kept me in this business for 28 years. Not because I'm the smartest guy alive. It's because I could think clearly and execute on the X's and O's, and I enjoy what I do every day. Cheers to you for tuning in, and have a great weekend.